Hi everybody, welcome back, and hopefully welcome to the last video on this little diorama. I'm saying last because I do really want to get this all finished off. There's not a great deal, should I say, of weathering to be done now. It's very minimal because we have actually been doing the weathering as we've been going along, from starting with the mould, after using pigments in the mould, washes as I've been building, and the only bit that I've actually shown you that I've been doing the washes on was the actual roof. But I've been doing what I've been doing on the roof as we've been building, and it's come to the point now where everything is finished and there's not a great deal to be done. There's just a little bit of fettling in really to be done. New additions to the build were the shutters and the door. They do need a wash, just to tone them down and blend them in a bit. The middle section, I mean, we did the grouting and we used the brown wash and the black wash. Now there's only one area really that I'm going to turn my attention to, and that's going to be this far wall, because we have got a little bit of a waney edge here. I want to just blend that in and make it a little bit more subtler, and that's about it. Everywhere else I'm more than happy with, so it will just be little bits and pieces that we'll be doing. The only other bit will be just making this damp course, below the damp course, look a bit dampish, as it should be. Around the front edges where the brickwork wouldn't have a damp course, and we've got the brickwork being just that little bit damp, a little bit more stained at the bottom. Moving on to the actual road, we've got the drain covers to go in, and we'll probably do a bit of staining along the edges of the gutter, just to sort of indicate years of rain and other abuses that have been going on. The actual road itself, I will probably just give it a wash, another wash, just to tone it down, but that really needs dust putting on, pigment dust putting on. But I won't be able to do that because the simple reason is my friend Bees needs to get his figures on there and then put the dust around, because the way I look at it, explosions going on, this road would be covered in dust, and so would be a good part of the house. And if I try and put dust down now, you're not going to get the right effect. You really need it around the figures, scuff marks and things like that. So I'm going to be leaving that to my friend Bees. Now, moving down, what we've got left to do is these areas underneath the blocks would be in sand, so I need to highlight them out in a sandy colour, and just finish off little bits and pieces along here, and just generally just little bits of fettling really. If you notice, I've actually done the trim along the bottom here. I've put the trim all the way round, finished that off with a coat of just ordinary black paint, nothing too special. It's not all in the shop there, but you can get the idea there. Now, all I used for that was a piece of this. This is glazing bar, and you can get this from your DIY shop. It's pretty good because you can use it flat down that way, or you can turn it on its edge like so. So you've got a pretty good difference in depth, and it's nice and straightforward. It's nice and simple, nice straight lines. That's all I like to see, and I'm quite pleased with it. It's all gone together nicely, and it just finishes the bottom of the tire off. Now, going all through that, waffling on like a good one, I think the best thing for me to do now is get on and get started. We'll get started and we'll put a wash on these shutters, and we'll get this bit of wall done. Okay, I'm going to make a start on these shutters. Now, I'm going to give these a wash, but I'm going to be using the Vallejo dipping wash. I've got the lid off here. Let's see if I can get that into shot. That one. the Vallejo dipping wash. This is the black, but I'm going to be using this neat straight from the actual tub. I'm not thinning it down or anything because I really do want these shutters to be really, well, darkish, should I say. So all I'm going to do is, like I'm doing here, I'm just going to give them all a wash with this and then leave them to dry, like so. And you're probably thinking that looks a bit dark. I wouldn't be surprised, this does dry out quite lightish. And also what I'm going to do as I'm going round, which is going to be difficult to show you, is this edge just inside of the window. Now if you look at buildings, you'll find that these areas are always the dirtiest on the inside there, and I'm just going to use some of this as I go along and darken the inside of that brickwork down. That will actually lighten up a bit more, but what I'm going to do is go all the way down every shutter and every bit of brickwork, because they're always dark, because that's where the wind and that hurls round and they darken down really quickly. I'm hoping you can see that. So I'll put you on pause now because I'm going to get on and get all the shutters done and then I'll come back to you. Right, I've done all the shutters. Now while the shutters are drying, what I'm actually going to do is, I've already started on this one, small paintbrush, and I'm going to use the black wash again, neat, but just go over very lightly over the window frames just to give it a few highs and lows. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm just going to run around and just give all the window frames some little dark areas, light areas, just to get that impression that it is wood from a distance. Okay, the frames I've just given them a rough coat. I've given the shutters a wash and I'm just going to leave them all to dry. Now while that's drying, I'm going to turn my attention to this bit of wall, which I did already start, and then I realised I didn't have the microphone down, so we'll start again. So this bit of wall, what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to give it a coat of wash, and this is my 25-75 mix of wash, and we're just going to give that a whole lot a recoat to start off with. So I'm going to give that a recoat right the way down, leave it to dry, and then we'll see how it comes out. I'm also going to carry on and I'm going to do the front, and also I'm going to do, if I bring the camera back a little bit, I'm going to do these walls. I'm going to give these walls a coat as well. So I'm going to get all that done just with the 25-75. I'm going to give them all another wash, leave it to dry, and then we'll take a little look. Right, now I've given everything that I said a coat of the wash, and now I'm going to leave it to dry, and while that's drying I'm going to turn my attention to something else. Now I'm going to turn my attention to getting some sort of staining along these edges of the gutter, and what I'm actually going to use is AK fuel stain. It's enamel, and it just, to me, just gives a little bit of a different, I don't know, texture, different whatever. It just works. And all I'm going to do is literally go along this bottom course. Right, so all the way along, because you always find that that area is always darker and a lot damper. And also I'm going to use it as well in running along the edge of the gutter. Right, so all the way through. Now you probably can't see a great difference there, but when it dries there will be a difference, believe me. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to run all the way round my gutters and the bottoms of the walls as well, all the way round. So I'll get that done and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I positioned the camera so you can just about see where I've been with the fuel stain. As you can see, I've run it down either side of the gutters, not in a dead straight line, made it sort of like as water would pool and stuff like that, because it just leaves like a residue on block work, especially this type of block. So I've done that all the way around the bottom. Now I'll leave that to dry, so I shall be back with you in a few seconds. Okay, I'm moving on with something else while that is drying. Now, along the underneath of the blocks, they're normally laid on sand. So what I'm going to do now, which is going to take me quite a while, is I've got a small paintbrush, I've got some sand coloured paint, and I'm going to paint underneath, just all the way along the edge here, all the way round on all the sides. Just to give that impression that there's a layer of sand, and then I'll probably do a slightly darker colour underneath, because it would be led on some type of hardcore or something like that. So I'm just going to go all the way around the edge and try and make that look like a sand layer. Okay, now I've painted all the way around the sand colour just underneath the block paving. I know it looks a bit bright at the moment, but we will tone that down. And I'm jumping ahead again and moving across. What I'm actually going to do now is my dipping wash, neat, straight out of the container. I'm just going to start running an edge all the way down the actual gutter, and also along the bottom of the wall as well. So I'm going to run that just like that all the way around. I know you can't really see it, the light in here tonight is terrible, but when I do the pictures, hopefully you'll be able to see how it turns out, well, what it looks like, should I say. So I'm just going to run down the edge just all the way around. Right, so it's just going to highlight the path out, the curb edgings as well. So I'm going to get on with that and I shall be back with you in a short while. Okay, that's all I had time to dry, and what I'm going to be moving on to now is AK Slime Grime Dark. Now the light in here tonight isn't doing me any favours at all, and all I'm going to be doing is using this green to sort of run in between the blocks along the edges, just where the algae and that would collect. And also I will be running it along the back on the wall, and believe me, I don't think you'll be able to see that at all, but it is there. So I'm going to get on, I'm going to run all the way around, all in these bits of block, just giving it little tiny bits here and there, just to give it a little bit more, should we say, definition. Okay, I've done all my like green algae bits and pieces, and it doesn't matter which way I put the camera and what light I've got, the camera just won't pick it up. Hopefully when I actually take this outside and I'll do some photographs, it will come apparent. So, but believe me, it is there. Now while that's all drying and going off, I'm going to start splitting this down and I'm going to go into the spray booth. Yes, I'm going to go into the spray booth. What I'm going to do is, under the eaves, I'm just going to give that a slightly darker look on the buildings and just underneath the windowsills. Now I'm going to use my airbrush for the simple reason is you get that sort of powdery effect as it goes out. With a paintbrush it just sort of sits there too heavy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split down, I'm going to move it into the spray booth, and hopefully I can get the camera around that way just so you can have a quick look. Okay, I'm hoping you can hear me because I've got the microphone stretched to its limit. I've got the camera stretched to its limit because I'm not normally set up to do any type of videoing inside the spray booth. Now, what I've got in my airbrush is just the Vallejo dipping wash neat, and all I'm going to be doing is just underneath the eaves, just giving it a little bit of darkness. Same as underneath the windows. Not too much. I hope I haven't got my big hand in the way, which I probably have, I can't see. But I'm basically just running under the sides and just feathering it in. So I'm going to be doing that all the way around. Also, I shall probably use it just to give some tonal variations. Should I say tonal variations? I'm getting quite big with my words. On the block work, like so. Along the bottoms. I find it just blends it in and makes it just that little bit more natural looking. It's one of them little things that you've just got to keep adding until you're happy. So I'm going to carry on with that. I'm also going to be stopping in the spray booth for a little while. I'm going to be giving a matte coat to the roof. Now all I'm going to be using is the Vallejo matte, just thin down a little bit so I can put through my airbrush, and I shall give that a coat. Also the base, I shall probably take this up and give this a coat of probably a gloss just to finish it off. And finally, I will be hoovering the inside of this out and giving the floors just not quite a satin finish, but I'll probably mix a bit of matte and satin together because I want a little bit of a sheen to the floors inside, because the floors would have been glossed up in them days. So I'm going to get all them bits done, which I don't think you really need to see me do, because I think you can understand the process of that. And then I should come back to you when I've done all that. Out the spray booth, back onto the bench. Now, we're back onto the bench for the simple reason is we're 99.9% of the way finished. And my original plan was I was going to do some photographs for you and tag them on to the end of this video, which I'm not going to do. The simple reason is I'm going to do a load of photographs and do a final reveal, because this camera doesn't really pick everything up. So I will be taking this into the daylight, getting some photographs done, and just doing a final reveal video hopefully next week. Also, I need to do plenty of photographs as well, because this was it still is a prototype mould for Diorama debris, which they sent to me and asked me if I could actually do something with it, which we've done. So a lot of photographs will be sent off to them. Also, this is going to be my good friend Beasley, he's coming to actually pick this up in the new year. He's travelling all the way down, I think it's Birmingham he lives in, down to Peterborough, and he's actually coming to pick this up, and Bees then is going to do the next stage, which I'm looking forward to, because it's a pretty static thing at the moment, and it really needs the figures and bits and pieces like that to really bring it to life and give it some movement. So next year, if you've been following this and you want to see the complete thing, you'll have to hop across to Beezy's channel and follow up what he'll be doing with this. My weathering, well, I suppose it leaves a little bit more to be desired, because I'm one of these people that I jump from place to place. I weather what I see at the time. I hope it's just giving you a little bit of insight into how I do my weathering. It's not how you should do your weathering. Weathering is very, very personal to everybody. So with that, all I can say is thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you on the final reveal.